What's going on, everyone? Goddrifter here, and welcome back to another Goddrifter Racing live stream. This is live stream number 57. Now, this is a really good fun fact. I actually started Car X before I did Gran Turismo, and I did Gran Turismo a lot more. But if anything, Car X is literally just as old as Gran Turismo, but the only difference is that I streamed Gran Turismo more than Car X. Um, but for the most part, yeah, it's one of the things where it kind of makes sense throughout the years of playing this game. But also, this is my first time we're doing carbon fiber in this game, and I can tell you already, I freaking suck. This is and Well, they're wondering, okay, why do you think you suck? Because, well, carbon fiber was meant to be, minimal. But unfortunately, I can't make it with anything. So I had to use the checker pattern, have one part of it gloss and then the other one metallic. And yeah, you already know where this is going. C dot M dot. Alright. So drifting's on, time attack is off, clipping point, collisions, and voting's on. Wait, no, actually, let me turn it off because I don't want people making mistakes. Voting is on and night mode's off. The reason I don't do night mode as much as I thought it was gonna be, because here's the thing: I thought night mode is gonna be cool, like you get to drift around nighttime. Unfortunately, not all tracks actually came in night mode, so yeah, but yeah, for those that are wondering what I'm talking about, for example, Springstone. Springstone is usually one of those that doesn't came that don't come with hmm, let me check my tune because I don't know, something's wrong with the Z. The Zismo is the only vehicle that I've never even haven't used in a while, and it's hard to drift. Probably because, well, the majority of the car is where, even though the cars that will drive, is really tough to slide around in. Um, okay, let me check the actual tune itself. So I'm on, okay, so 7 degrees of camber, and it's on Asian 100. So what's making it difficult to slide? Hmm. Hmm. See, toe out and toe in. Okay, let's see if that works. Because I have no problem sliding this car, but the problem is literally the fact that it's it's really troublesome to slide. So yeah, let's just hope it is what it is, and we're getting another set of stuff going in from now on. But yeah, it's really interesting to say the least. Um, okay, that's much better. So yeah, um, figured out the problem. It was literally the fact that the that the is that one wheel was toe out. The front was toe in, and then the rear wheels was toe out. So I think it's either or, but basically what it was is that in terms of the toe, the front is literally all the way to the right, while um the rear was all the way to the left. So I switched it, and now I can actually slide again. Ay, ay. Alright. Hmm. Hmm. I think I'll be very surprised if we've gotten torque drift for console due to the fact that I am not gonna lie, I am a really big fan of the game. It's just the fact that the only problem I have with the game is the fact that I can't run the game on ultra ultra on the ultra quality because if I did that, my game would crash. So there's so I'm stuck with low plus everything that's on, and I can't change it for the most part. So oh Jesus. Okay. Okay, 886. All right. Yeah, that's the it's like a GT4. I don't know. I could be wrong. Wait, no. Wait. No, it's a 86. I have to look at the window. Oh my goodness. Also, for those that are watching, yes, my front end is, well, most of the front end is carbon fiber, but keep in mind it's my first time ever having to put my front end with carbon fiber, and if it sucks, it sucks. But um, this was actually my first time doing carbon fiber, so there's that. Jesus. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm not used to drifting this vehicle, so yeah. Even though I drifted the 240Z, I drifted the 350Z, but 370Z is a little bit more difficult than those specific two. Also, just a Z32, at least a Z32 makes sense. This car in your head is hard to slide. Oh jeez. Alright. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I probably need to switch cars after this lap because, jeez. Oh right, forgot. Collisions are off. Completely forgot. Really. Enjoyed. Unless you like collisions being off, then yeah, basically, if you want to, you can go right ahead. Oh jeez. Jesus. Hmm. Yeah, it's not a very smooth 360, I know that for sure. Yeah, I need to switch cars. Um, Alright. Give me a moment. I'm actually going to switch cars. Oh yeah, the D70Z is not doing it for me. Like I don't know why is it really difficult to drift. Cause 350Z really um it's not as hard as the 370Z, but it's worth it. 240Z car is lightweight and it has not a lot of power, but it has enough power to um actually give itself a pat on the back for basically being able to drift. And well, the two in the Z32 is well known for, well, not well known, it's not as well known as the DVD, but it's well known nonetheless. Um, Z34 on the other hand, I don't know about that. Um, Alright, let's grab the Subaru. And let's see if I can find my lobby. Right, Asian, do I run? I ran 100s for the most part. Let's see if I can. I was used to 120s, and I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to go. Let me go with something else. So I went with 100s instead of like going down like one layer. 16 running 90. Well, Jesus. I think, well, for the most part, almost every single one of those I used to use 120, and now I'm learning to do 100. I think I'm doing well so far with the hundreds. 90, I used to use on my SC. That's basically which for those who don't know is the sorrow in this game. So there's that. But yeah, the Z34 is really difficult to drift around with. Alright. Enjoy it. Like I said, you like the legends being off, then go right ahead. It depends on which lobby, which server you're in, because usually I run with an American server. Although I heard European servers are a little bit better, but not. Well, that's my perspective. What's the code? You're talking about. And how was you? It was pretty. It did pretty well. The gym I was a little bit. I was struggling a little bit, which I wasn't working out the most I wanted to work out. But otherwise, it was pretty cool. And not to mention, it just started, so it was. Yeah. What are the chances of lagging is increases a little bit? Oh, great. Just a little bit. Oh, great. So for those of, and for those who can, and for those that are wondering how can you tell if someone's lagging, look at look for like a Wi-Fi signal of some sort, and it has like two bars on red. So there's that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, yeah. That is some lag right there. Oh my goodness. Jesus. All right. Okay. Let's see if I can. All right. Nope. No, it did not work. Usually, usually if I mess up, we just do a donut and then just straight up go back to drifting. But that wasn't the case. In fact, this is actually my first time using the Subaru in the live streams actually. Normally I would just use any Mitsubishi, not Mitsubishi, any Euro, European, American, Nissan or Toyota. But I had not used a Subaru before, which is crazy because of all the vehicles I've drifted, this actually is one, if not one of my favorite cars to drift with. Ooh, an M3. Oh, jeez. All right. So usually I have three segments in the in the live streams. Usually, one of them is known as racing cliches. Second one being vehicle history, and last but not least, in a nutshell, which I talk about um, one of the games I played since I was a kid. So uh, yeah, in 10 minutes, I'm actually gonna talk about today's racing cliches, which is very interesting. That I don't think any that most likely one game started all, and it's still going to this day. So yeah, there's that. So if you want to hear me ramble for literally, well, 20 to 30 minutes, then stay tuned. But if you don't like me rambling for the next 20 to 30 minutes, then I would suggest muting me until I text done. So yeah, there's that. Oh jeez. Also, if I wasn't wondering, this is an adhesion-free zone. So literally, if you're using 120, use 120. If you have 100, use 100. If you have 90, use 90. More, a lot of people might care, but here's the thing: I do not care about adhesion. As long as you know how, as long as you know what to do, then drift the absolute crap out of your vehicle until the wheels fall out, or until the tires pop, whatever. Well, don't. Well, actually, unless the game actually um, let's see, they, well, if they added tire wear, um, tire wear, then don't just mess out the vehicle because you might see sparks coming out of your wheel. Which that kind of happened to me when I was playing Grid, and literally, let's say that the Jesco had a had a pop tire, and I was wondering why I couldn't steer. Oh, excuse me. My goodness. Jesus. Yep. There's a lag right there. Okay, so we have a chase here at an M3. I'm in a Subi, well, a Hawkeye Subi. But in actuality, I think this one is the. But in actuality, this is basically a blob eye, but with a different, with a different um, front fuchsia. Basically, a front end conversion. Well, I wouldn't say front end conversion because it's literally a updated model of the car. Uh, In fact, you won't believe what I saw. I think it was a couple of days ago. I saw a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and it looked bigger in person than I saw it. And I am not kidding when I say it, like that truck is bigger than a Chevy Tahoe, an '03 to '05 Chevy Tahoe. Like no joke. Now here's the thing. I seen I seen Bentleys. Like I seen plenty of Bentleys to say that, well, I saw a Bentley. Um, I also saw, well, but in any other cases, I usually see either Bentleys or Rolls Royces. But I, but the funny part is that this is my first time seeing a Rolls Royce Callahan, but I had not. Sure. Just make sure you're in the American server. Just like you know. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Um. Yeah. For the most part, it's one of those cases where you find rare vehicles. That is one thing, but the other thing is that um. Amazing. I may have saw a Rolls Royce Callahan, but I never passcode. There's no passcode. All you need to do is just look for the lobby, and then boom, you can join. Oh jeez. Oh yeah, I may have saw a Callahan, but I have never seen a Bottega before. Maybe a lobby. It's hold on. It's that. That's the name. If you look onto the top and you look onto the left side, you will know. Cause don't look so good. So. Oh my goodness. Um, my Subaru is believe it or not, it's based off of Team Orange's Subaru, and guess what? That is from a game like a game called Grid. Well, not Grid 2019, but Grid 2008. Like that is one of those games where that actually has, if not the most realistic drifting physics. Like you cannot just mash on the throttle and literally just turn. No, you're not. This is not Juice 2. This is Grid. You have to use your handbrake. You have to coordinate on how you're sliding, because sliding too little, you get no points. Sliding too much, you probably spin out. So you have to literally like balance on how you're drifting in each corner. I mean, literally. Well, if anything, I like Grid's drifting more. um, so yeah. And for that, I think what's the name of the lobby? It's literally YouTube Live, Goddrifter247sun Productions, C dot N dot. Basically, I was about to put Carmi, but I ran out of spaces, so I put C and M. But, eh. So yeah, they do what they gotta do in terms of like drifting, but you're in S15. Okay. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Ops is killing it with the chaser. Like what the heck? Ay, ay. Now this one car I've not made yet is a top secret car, and also a bit of context. Top Secret is a tuning company in Japan that usually because comprises of gold and white cars, or well, gold, white, and black cars with gold stuff all over it. But you probably look at them and be like, oh, that Top Secret. You're like, yeah, that Top Secret. The Locans? Oh. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, you're uh, the Vertex Edge S15. Oh yeah, okay, so alright. So in terms of today's racing cliches, this racing cliche is not even that old, but a lot of people didn't know that it's still like here's the thing. Forza kind of revolutionized this. It didn't start it. They revolutionized it. And what do I mean? Today's racing cliches. We're gonna be taking a look. Let me take a look at engine swaps. Now, for those who do not know, engine swapping is when you swap a different engine into a vehicle. Usually a manufacturer-based based thing where literally um, on PlayStation. You do realize you can just just go in and because normally I don't stream this game a lot, so um, there's that. Also, oh god, okay. No, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So, engine swapping was a thing around, I do believe it was either the 1980s or 1970s, but all I know is that in terms of what it actually does is that it actually uh, com actually complies with the I think it's the regulations that many of the cars usually have. So, like for example, let's say that they want to actually engine swapped um, the Galant, and it actually started around the 1980 late 80s, early 90s when manufacturers from Road Rally or WRC usually have cars like the Audi Quattro S1, the Ford RS200, and heck, even the Peugeot, uh, excuse me, even the Peugeot 106 that were mainly rally cars. But alright, in video game platforms, yeah, like I said, um, Forza actually revolutionized this gimmick. But the game that actually started doing engine swaps, and I kid you not, was originally Tokyo Steam Racer 3. Now, for those who don't know what that game is, the game was a game that was made by Genki under the Crave, and was it was produced by Genki, but it was made by Crave, and Crave actually implemented that basically every couple of miles you can actually get a vehicle you can actually get an engine swap for a vehicle, and mainly due to that it actually made the cars go faster. So let's say for example you got a Nissan Z31 and you wanted to actually get yourself a engine swap, and you have plenty of choices. You can go with the 2JZ, but not to mention there are realistic consequences of this being a thing. That being that um, shoot, what was I saying? Oh yeah, basically consequences being that that your car may not be capable of actually handling that much power. So yeah, to tune the car a little bit to actually have the car function. Because if it didn't function, then who knows what's gonna happen. Ooh, an FD. Um, yeah, same thing goes with same thing goes with any car. So literally um, things such as swapping a 1UZ into a um, Toyota Aristo, or even swapping a VK45DE into a 350Z. Like all these can happen, but the main difference between that plus that game versus Forza is the fact that in Forza the only thing I do is buy everything else again. That's the only thing. Um, but yeah. And then Forza is really just revolutionized the engine swaps. Only difference is that at least Tokyo Universe 3 is trying to be realistic about it. But on the other hand, you got Forza here with, oh yeah, just swap the engine, you should be fine. And yeah, there's the difference between, oh yeah, having the car with too much power is so great, actually makes the car undrivable, but not stopping the engine makes the car drivable, but it may lose more races. Like, it actually gives you a chance to actually, you know, have that ability to actually engine swap cars. Now, there's one Let's Player that I actually recommend that actually played that, and he goes by the name of Nail Strifer, I think was his name is. He Let's Played it, and I do believe he actually played the entire game with a Toyota Chaser. And for those that are wondering, that's the JZX 100 model, not the JZX 90 model, since that's the Mark II. And, oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. But, well, yeah. I do believe, like, the moment that Forza was made, it's like, oh, snap. Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 has engine swaps. Yeah, let me guess, Genki, if we can borrow it. Yeah, can we borrow the engine swaps? Oh, yeah, sure, why not? This is, ay, ay, ay. What else is there? In fact, in terms of Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, um, some of the custom cars you got in the game actually had their own engines. Like, for example, I do believe one of the races known as 12 O'Clock Cinderella is in a RX-7 with a 3-rotor, and that car is ridiculously fast for what it is. But the only downside is that what's that called? Well, the only downside is that literally the fact that anyone who knows how to handle a rear-wheel drive car, good for you, because I can't handle a rear-wheel drive car in any Tokyo Universe game to save my life. Like, no joke. I was like, how in the world do people drive this car in the first place? I mean, then again, my first game for Tokyo Universe was Tokyo Universe Drift 2, so what am I to complain? Um, but yeah, for the most part, it's legit one of those ideals that actually makes engine swapping really cool. Um, and Forza still does these to this day. And well, for those wondering, no, I'm not gonna count Gran Turismo since literally that's a mod, and not to mention it's not really legit if you think about it. For example, a lot of people quote unquote swap a rotary engine into a Volkswagen bus, and it's literally the fastest thing alive. Now, the reason I'm not gonna count it is because, yeah, that's literally a mod and not a legit. Well, it's not a legit thing that a lot of people do in Gran Turismo 5, but yeah, that's literally a mod nonetheless. Um, Now, this is a big question: is swapped cars the same as engine swapping a car? Well, if they're swapped cars right off the bat, then I won't count it. Which that's literally a different car entirely, instead of just having a car then engine swapping it. Like, for example, in Torque Drift, you can actually engine swap a lot of cars. And I kid you not, these engines actually rotate every now and then. For example, you can either have a tuned or stroked SR20, or you can actually have a restored for a GE, or even a 1.3 liter two rotor as as a engine swap option. And in fact, for the more powerful cars, you have, for example, the Mustang, the M4, and the M3 E92s. Usually they have um, usually they have engines on their own that make more power than the SR20 power plant that's in the car right off the bat, which for many people with the S13, S14, and S15s makes sense. M3s kind of makes sense, except for the RX3. The RX3 doesn't make any sense at all. Um, not only that, but even the successor to the original not Tokyo, seriously, the successor to Car Extras Racing actually implemented engine swaps, but unfortunately, unlike the aforementioned games I mentioned, like the main problem is that literally, if anything, a lot of people like how here's the thing, every single car has 2 engine swaps. Well, actually, no, there's 4 tuned versions of the car, and then there's the engine swap versions. And the more powerful the engine swap, the more power you can get for the car, but it makes it uncontrollable to the point where you really had to think about, like, should I, should I use more, um, should I get more traction to this car, or should I do something different? So, yeah, in today's standard, Need for Speed finally got into the engine swapping, engine swapping gig, which they haven't done for God knows how many years. Um, Now, here's the thing. Before Need for Speed, Need for Speed Underground 2 was the game to actually implement engine swapping. You know, like legit engine swapping a car, having, like, for example, we can actually swap a VQ to an RB. Um, another example is literally from a 4A GE for a 230Z GT from the Supra, etc. But yeah, there are pros and cons when you put engine swapping in a racing game. Now, the pros is that you can actually get more value out of engine swapping. When it comes to more or less, well, most of these cars, you have a slight bit of chance that you can actually um, make the car really powerful to the point where um, well, so yeah, the more powerful the engine, the more unstoppable it gets. But depending on how you implement engine swaps, just don't make it too obvious, because otherwise it will have been literally the Aventadors. It will have been the Forza's Aventador, like Aventador motor. Like, no joke. Like, you can ask any Forza player, and you can ask them um what is the most engines that people swap with, and a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, like, isn't there like an Aventador motor in the games? Like, oh yeah, that's right, because a lot of players literally just swap the V12s and twin turbo them, made them all-wheel drive, and then boom, you got plenty of power. Well, unless you're talking about the ones that have the racing V12s and the racing V8, which that's a lot of motor for a car. But yeah, the cons is it's a bit different. Now, depending on how you actually implement engine swaps, um, you can either have it realistic, like Tokyo Stream Racer 3's, where the more powerful the engine, the faster you go, but you'll risk overheating the engine. Or you can actually, have it unrealistic, like Forza did, where literally you can swap in any engine and it doesn't affect the car at all. Well, the only difference being the weight. So yeah, that's today's racing cliche. Um, hope you guys enjoyed. Well, taste racing cliche because I literally had to, I literally pull these out of my head for no exact reason. It's like, oh wait, what haven't I talked about? Oh yeah, engine swaps. Who hasn't talked about engine swapping yet? Well, yeah. Now that I thought about it, it was actually my first time ever going to a junkyard, and I haven't been to one before, so yeah, bear in mind. So I found plenty of cars that was junked. For example, I saw a Hyundai Tiburon with a carbon fiber hood, real carbon fiber hood nonetheless. And then I looked the whole time. Oh wait, those must have been the hood pants that was holding the car up. And believe it or not, it was a V6 model of the car, which I was surprised someone actually junked it. I was like, man, most of these people don't appreciate the car they have, well, unless they're retired and stuff. But of all the cars that actually caught my eye the most was a '99 Infiniti Q45 with literally nothing damaged except for the back, because obviously, obviously it's not a junkyard unless there's something in the back that actually has been hit. Um, what else is there? Um, did my car become a Tesla? Oh my god, my car became a Tesla. What in the world? Uh, my car became a Tesla. What the heck? Uh, I'll say, but yeah, fine. Basically, literally everything else is included in addition to except for the rear end and the engine. Um, in fact, it was, it was so untouched. The interior was in good shape still. And usually when it comes to luxury cars and the wood like panels, uh, they usually like rot away. But nope, the car was still intact. But yeah, I was sad like, ah man, they could like for the one that actually that had this car, they could have actually well, they could easily just kept it, and yeah, nonetheless, it's pretty interesting. Um, there was um there was some that stand out. For example, there was an Altima with Luxani's. And I kid you not, there were real Luxani wheels on a Altima, which I was actually surprised about, due to the fact that Luxani's are ridiculously expensive wheels back then. Well, unless the reps, then I didn't know. Um, what else is there? And not to mention, there were a full amount of eclipses that I saw. Usually the third gen and second gens. Um, the same thing with Civics as well as um, let's see, Civics. Yeah, Civics, Accords, and even some Integ. Even there were at least two Integras in there, which I was like, man, man, I was like, whoa, okay. What could be done different was like literally they could have kept their car, and it's like, man, they could have kept the car because most of those cars are rare these days. Like they could have easily just like, oh yeah, you know what? Let me just put in the new motor and hey, with the live stream. So I'm literally just talking about the interesting things I found in the junkyard, like no joke. I even, and heck, I've even found the legit amount of Firebirds, and I'm talking about the 80s Firebird, due to the fact that you can tell because of the headlights. But yeah, nonetheless, yeah, there was some interesting cars I saw out there. There was a Q45, there were two Tiburons, there were the amount of Eclipses and Celicas and Civics and Accords that are over there, and even the amount of Chargers and Chrysler 300s over there. And I kid you not, I mistaken the Avenger. I mistaken a Charger for an Avenger because the front, because the rear end that because the rear doors that angled like that, and I didn't see if it's small or not. But yeah, that's a big ouch on my part. Um, Well, yeah, I kid you not. There was a Tiburon, I see there was two of them. One of them had a real carbon fiber hood, and the holes were drilled out. So that means there were hood pins over there, and it was a V6 motor. Like it was one of the mini Tiburons that actually came with a V6. Um, and then there's another one that was white, but I think it was a four-cylinder. So I'm guessing like, okay, so one of these must have been impounded, and then they're like, you know what, just take it to the junkyard. I don't really want it. They probably got something else like a Genesis or something. Um, Not to mention there were a lot of XBs over there. And I was like, okay, there's another XB, and my God, the amount of third gen Eclipses I actually found in the junkyard. I found at least four on each side. I'm like, what the heck's up with these Eclipses? It was like, wait a minute, what about? I was like, wait, wait a minute, that's the second gen Eclipse, and then it's like, oh wait, this is, and believe it or not, one of them had a 4G63 in them, and before anyone asks, the 4G63 is the engine from the Evo, so there's that. Not the 428 that usually you will find in a Fast and Furious movie. No, I'm talking like a legit 4G63 motor. I do believe one of them is. I do believe the 4G63 was turbocharged as well, so that makes it even much more rare to find than anything else. Hmm. Alright, I might need to switch cars because I can't even hear my engine note. Yeah, just give me a moment. I'm going to switch cars. I hate when my car turns. Hate when my car turns to a Tesla. I can't hear anything except for the, and then all of a sudden you just hear silence. uh, Still never good. All right. Okay, that car never again, cause that mess is literally terrifying to drift with. Um, you know what? Let me go with this. Let me go with excuse me, a Vertex, not a Vertex, a Voltex. Excuse me, a Voltex. Um, yeah, I'll go with a Voltex Subaru because that's one thing I want to be going for. Not just so that this one um doesn't turn into a Tesla. Okay, there I go. Oh God, the lag. This is holy crap, the lag is real. Holy crap. Okay, so there's a Skyline, there's a Supra. Alright, let's see, man. The reason is because I'm because I'm like, you know what? Let me switch out the game with the with the Asian 100s. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to super. Wait, something's. Wait. Oh, hold on, hold on. Let me wait. Actually, no. I need to do this better. Let me just go into photo mode. Let me see this car. Hold on. Front right, front left. Wait. I know what that one's based on. Ain't that a Top Secret Supra? Oh my god, this is a Top Secret Supra. My goodness. Yeah, yeah, the car extreme logo is based off a Top Secret. I cannot believe it. This is a real thing? Oh my god. Oh my god. That looks sick. Number 8. You had the lifted hood. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, I just realized you have a lifted hood. And then there's me with my Voltex Subaru. My god. And then you got this this random R34. It's like I'm part of it too. Dude, like god dang, that it looks accurate. Like it's really accurate. I might need to do one for the Skyline, but I don't want to ruin my easy made sponsor. So yeah, there's that. I made a Blitz R34 though, so that's another thing. Yeah. Why is everyone gathering? Oh Jesus! Everyone's gathering around like it's nothing. Ay. Okay. There's also a Mustang. There's hmm. Okay, I see a lot. I've seen a lot of interesting cars. Oh my god! I just realized S14 is stock. Oh my god. What no two-step drifter? Oh my goodness. That should have been a. That sounds like a trophy name if anything. Two-step drifter. Um. Yeah. Just master throttle and drifts for 500 like 500 kilometers. Like that's like it was like okay, it should be easy. And like boom, two-step drifter. Ay. Like that's not that should be like a trophy name for like any racing game that's like that acquires itself into that's like a into like for the most part into a lot of drifting. That should have been like a actual trophy name. Boom, two-step drifter. It drifts 5 miles while drafting. 5 miles. Drifts 5 kilometers while mashing the throttle. Actually, that would have been the easy. That's basically the easiest trophy I can actually gotten. Unless the drift physics is really difficult to actually work with. Oh jeez. Okay. Alright, so in a minute, I'm going to talk about today's vehicle history. This vehicle history is about the car that actually won many WRCs, and it was up to the point where, um, well, actually, it was to the point where it actually went um, from literally all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive to even like front-wheel drive. But yeah, no, I'm just playing with you guys. It's not about that car. Um, so today I'm going to take a look at a vehicle that is so good that actually. Can I do a car meet? Uh, I know those car meet places that I know for sure, but I'll do one. I'll do one another time. Like I think in the next live stream I'll probably do a car meet. Um, shoot, no, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So today's vehicle history, I'm gonna take a look at the car that I'm in right now, which is a Subaru WRX. So yeah, the car was made around in the late in the early 90s, and in order to actually be differentiate with each other, they go by the look by their eyes, and the reason why a lot of people go by the eyes is due to the fact that due to the look of the headlights being different from each other, and not to mention. They can't just go by, oh yeah, this is the first gen, second gen, third gen. No, they go by the eyes. So we're going to start with the classic eye, which was from, and I kid you not, literally 1995. Wait, no, actually 1993 up till 1998. Wait, no, 1999. My mistake. Um, and they have plenty of versions of that specific car. There's one known as the WX. There's one known as the STI, and then there's one special one known as the 22B STI, which was a homologation model that actually uh, gave us a that. Well, here's the thing: we never got that version of the car in the U.S. All I got was the standard Subaru WX STI and or a two-door version of that. Um, but this is where it gets interesting because in the early to late 2000s, we've gotten 4 generations out of it, and I kid you not, not 4 generations, but 4 different eyes. So we're gonna start with the bug eye, which is the earliest, which was from 2000 all the way to 2002. Then up next we got the blob eye, which was from 2003 all the way to 2005. And then last but not least got the Hawkeye, which was 2006 all the way to 2008. Which, wait, no, actually it was from from the same year that literally late 2005 we got Hawkeye, which was from late 2005 all the way till late 2008. Well, it's from 2005 all the way to 2000 from early 2008. And then you got the Stink Eye, which is the car I'm driving right now, which was from 2008 to 2013, if I remember correctly. And yeah, there were so many variants that to differentiate. Yeah, I might as well go with. Let me explain what all these eyes mean. The reason why they call them Bug Eye, Blob Eye, and Steak, Blob Eye, Hawk Eye, and even known as the Stink Eye, is because it's so that you can actually differentiate which is which. Like for example, you can actually tell which one's the bug eye due to the fact that the headlights was literally like a bug's, and the taillights were a lot different. Same thing with the blob eye, which it's like a blob. That's where the blob eye comes from. But the ones that looks the most aggressive was the Hawkeye. And the reason being is because of the headlights. Not only that, but it actually had a updated EJ25 motor, which up in context is a 2.5 liter Boxer 4, which usually when it comes to 2.5 liter model engines, they usually go for either inline 6 or a inline 5. But a Boxer 4 is something that has been heard of, but Subaru made it pretty well. In fact, it was so good, Porsche has started to make their own versions of a flat 4. Well, more of a Boxer motor, but still a flat 4 nonetheless. But whether you're wondering what the heck's a Boxer motor? Well, the EJ25 is a 2.5 liter Boxer motor that actually has the pistons going sideways, like it's punching. But here's the thing: most engines are flat engines, but not all flat engines are Boxers. Like for example, you can say that the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta actually has a flat 12, but the reason why it's called a flat 12 is because there's a V12 that is sitting flat on the hood, like not on the hood but under the hood. So yeah, there's that. And Jesus, it's my God, it's full already. Golly. Anyways, But yeah, the only difference between those three is not only the headlights but the taillights as well. The taillights for the bug eye had wasn't didn't have that clear look as many others do. Like you can tell, like, oh yeah, those are some really cool headlights. Then you look at the blob eyes taillights, and you notice that that silver part of it, part of the taillight is like upward, upward to the first, to the first variation of the bug eye. But it was reversed in the Hawkeye, and Hawkeye had that Lexus like taillight thing, which is not that bad, which many people think it is, but it's not that bad. Well, I think it's because I was immune to the fact that literally, for those that was born around literally the late 90s to early 2000s, are immune to stuff like this. So for those that are from my generation, you will probably wouldn't notice that right off bat. It's like, okay, those are some clear taillights. But for those wondering, okay, what about the stink eye? Well, the stink eye was a thing that was, well, it actually had a bit of controversy. Now, for those wondering, what the heck? What do you mean controversy? Well, the car originally came with clear taillights, which, well, I'm wondering, is literally the, see that red part of the taillights I have on my Subi? Yeah, that used to be clear, and yeah, now it's actually an option to actually get one that's like this. But yeah, nonetheless, it's not as bad as many people think it is. But um, I was wondering how many people actually have swapped those not lenses, but swapped the lights out with newer ones. Hey, went to the live stream. Uh, how's that? Shoot, I was about to say. Oh yeah. Um, And not to mention, the car only came in a hatch, which was I'm wondering. Yes, there were hatch versions of each and every single. Well, not every single uh, Impreza, but yeah, there was a lot of how to join. Uh, just be an American server and just look for this name right. Just look for the name that's on the top left corner. Interesting. I am not a drifting expert. Just letting you guys know, I usually play this for fun. Alright, let's see. What the? Okay, I'm guessing he's from Xbox. And playing Benz. Although, I don't find myself playing VSKs on them. But, hmm. Okay. I think I see a, mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I see a problem. You're not letting the car like going through the drifting process. Okay, there we go. Okay, so hmm. Okay. Alright, so I do see that you have adhesion 100 tires, but you're not sliding enough. I'm guessing you need to adjust your toe. I think that's what it is. Not your real life toe. Like what the heck? No, I'm talking about your wheel angle type of toe. Because I had that problem with the 370Z that I drifted earlier today. Um, but yeah, your drifting is good nonetheless. It's just that you need to actually have your car have a lot more. I'd say more, not more angle, but it's like um, unless you're like me and I just um, unless that you have low tire pressure, then that probably would make more sense. Um, and what the heck? Okay. Oh, you. Oh no. You know, 370Z. I kid you not. That is a very difficult car to drift in. Like, that is a very difficult car to drift with in this game specifically. Like, of all the Z's I've drifted so far, the Z in what the heck? Ah, okay. I can't seem to both of you guys. God dang. Either they lagged out. But trust me, I know. Like that's a very difficult car to adjust with. Shoot, oh crap, forgot about the rate. Today's vehicle history. So anyway, um, now originally the WX6Ti for the Sting Guy version actually came as a hatchback. I'll go put 90. No, 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 it's fine. It's just that you need to adjust your toe. That's basically all you had to do. Because normally, uh, normally if you're not like here's the thing. I'm running 100s and I'm drifting well, but the reason is because I have my my tire pressure ridiculously low, and my toe being, um, my toe being to the left, and then my rear toe being to the right. So there's that. Also, just letting you know, I'm not an expert in this game. Just letting you know. Okay, you got a Super here. We got a Mustang there. Oh yeah, actually, dang it, alright. Yeah, actually I do remember now. So basically, this, reason why people didn't like this one as much as the other ones, because, well, one, it had clear taillights, which usually, well, it's not just that, but it was full clear taillights. That's literally including the entirety of the tire that, the tire of the red that's on the taillight used to be clear. And it usually get confused with the reverse lights. And then literally a year later, they actually came with a sedan model, which looked a bit better than the hatch model, but that's just my opinion. Um, all right, and then we now got into the present, which is known as it goes by two names. It goes by either the Raptor Eye or the Evo Eye. The reason why it's called either the Raptor or the Evo Eye is because during that time, Mitsubishi was going through some changes, as in they haven't made any new cars recently, and not to mention, um, during for the most part, 2015 was going to be the last time to actually, um, let's see, yeah, 2015 is going to be the last time they're going to make the Evo 10, or is that be the last year they're going to make the Evo 10? Then the actual Lancer discontinued 2 years later. So yeah, TLDR, the Evo got discontinued, and that's the reason why people call it the Raptor Eye, so that they can actually have, so that way they can actually get a lot more stuff. But anyway, that's just me. Um, I was gonna say, oh yeah, um, But not only that, it came as a sedan model, but also came in as a hatch model. Which, not gonna lie, I kind of dig the password. There's no password. Like all you need to do is go into the American server and um yeah, just look for the name that's on the top left corner. I might need to put in the how to join pass uh how to join lobbies thing because there's no password for this. Like it's legit public. That's basically what it is. Um, so yeah. Now for those who are wondering, yes. Even though there's also history with their rally heritage. Basically, there are their joint references. There's WX and STI. Was I wondering what WX stands for? WX stands for Road Rally um, Road Rally Cross, and STI stands for Subaru Technical Industries, which literally is their tuning their tuning operations. That's basically what it is. Uh, Also, you can actually thank STI for making the BRZTS, which kind of makes no sense. Like literally just putting the wing on the car, but yeah, no. uh, hmm, that was what I was saying. Oh yeah. Um, Now, for those who are wondering, yes. Um, and even though yes, um, Subaru actually won by default in one of the rally stages due to the fact that Toyota actually cheated in one of the rally stages, and not to mention the Subaru wasn't affected in terms of the gentleman's agreement, and Dora probably will talk about that mess. Um, Probably gonna talk about that uh, in the crew too, which I'm probably gonna add another segment to this, which is well, for the most part, it's like not just history, but it's like, oh yeah, the actual culture history behind the gentleman's agreement. And so yeah, long story short, the in order for the government not to give them restrictions, um, they actually had to put in actually each and every single car had to be around 276 horsepower, and the only ones that are affected is Nissan, Honda, Toyota, as well as Mazda, Mitsubishi, and even Subaru for that matter, along with Suzuki and Isuzu. So yeah, literally the bigger companies were kind of freaking out due to the fact that many of the cars that wanted to actually have a lot more power than the rest actually ended up being restricted to 276 horsepower, which but here's the catch though. They made the car tunable. They made those cars tunable, and you can actually say that oh yeah, they're going from 300 to 400 horsepower. And in fact, they even goes upwards to 600, even 800 horsepower for that matter. And a bit of context: the fastest F1 car at the time made only around 700. Yeah, it's friggin' insane how insanely fast they make these cars. Um, so in terms of how many generations did the car have? Well, due to the fact that there were only the classic eye on the first one, the three different eyes on the second one, um, one eye on the third one, and then either or on the fourth one. So so yeah. In terms of how many generations there is very to be, and literally, if you count them all, classic eye, Bug Eye, Blob Eye, Hawk Eye, Stink Eye, Raptor Eye. We got a count of 6 versus the Evos, well, 4. And I was wondering, wait, why 4? Well, if you think about it, there are 10 generations, but each generation looked different in every single way. For example, the Evos 1 through 3, the only difference is the front bumper, and the Evo 2 has the actual badging on the hood. The Evos 4 through 6, the only difference being is the taillights, as well as the front bumper, as well as the, actually not just the front bumper, but the front fuchsia nonetheless. Um, Evo 7 through 9, the only difference is the front bumper and the taillights, as well as the headlights. But the Evo 10, which is the completely last one, and not to mention the only one that's a bit different, is the only one that was developed, that was designed in Europe. That's probably why I like the car so much. It was it was designed in Europe, and the only one that actually didn't have before G63, but before B11. So yeah, that's today's vehicle history. I am actually going to change cars, so yeah, give me a moment. All right. All right. I'm going AFK. Oh, I'm actually changing cars. Ay. I'm surprised. Oh my god! I just realized this is funny. This is really funny. This is actually hilarious. For those who do not know, this car is tier 4 class 4, while the the RD4 GTR, the um, like literally a two-door version of that car is a grade lower, which I'm actually surprised about due to the fact that since they're the same, well, almost the same car, they could at least put it on the same spot, but not they put on a different spot instead. All right, so literally in the next couple of minutes, I'm actually gonna talk about the final segment, which is literally in a nutshell, where I talk about my childhood games. I say the games I played since I was a kid. So this game is the one that actually started the trend of having multiple amount of, well, I wouldn't say multiple amount of dealerships per se, but it's more like if this game have a dealership simulator, it will be one of them. And not to mention, the game was the one I grew up with was the PS2 version. I didn't I didn't own Xbox 360 at the time, so yeah, there's that. And not to mention, at one point, I was this was actually my first game that ever made a million just by selling one car, and I mean one car that I got for free. And not to mention, it was actually one of Atari's greatest uh one of Atari's greatest things they ever come up with, and the second game that actually shut down shut down Atari entirely due to different to the vehicles being the same thing, but the difference being is the pricing, and you have to buy virtual cars with real money, which not something I don't want to do, but it's there nonetheless. Because it's crazy how the Xbox community, the Xbox players of this game actually has some really crazy good drifters. Like, what the heck? I did not realize that's gonna be this insane. Oh yeah, that was really smooth. Oh my god. It's literally a Mustang and a 4-door R34. Literally just drifting in the air. Well, I actually hit the wall, but still drifting nonetheless. And the one that's, wait, is that, holy crap, is that a Mark II? Hold on, hold on. Wait for me. Ay, ay, ay. Mhm. Alright. Um. Spinoff has actually drifted this car, so bear with me. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Today's Indonesia is not about that game because that's not my first test drive game. In fact, you're going to take a look back at 2002's. But you're going to take a look at back at 2002, where literally the Fast and Furious was only a year old, and yeah, it was influential on many games. Tokyo Steam Racer, Need to Be Underground, and another game that actually gave us a game that actually got us street racing in the first place, aka let's see, that was basically not just any street race, but they actually give us traveling all across the globe, ranging from San Francisco to to Tokyo to London to even Monte Carlo, a actual yeah, Monte Carlo, the same exact Monte Carlo that's based obviously some of the part of Spain and France. And not to mention you got your not to mention they have your favorite muscle cars ranging from Plymouth to Pontiacs to Chargers to Supras to even even some crazy cars like the Speed 12, the XJ220 to even a Dodge Viper concept. And before you guys ask, yes, the Viper concept, basically known as the GTSR, which is literally the third gen Viper with a giant wing and a huge bike that's on the car. And not to mention, completed with 20s in the front, 21s in the rear. Um, Not to mention, drag racing was legit. Like, for example, you cannot just cross the line and boom, but and boom, you actually can win the race. But no, if you even try to cross the line, you get disqualified. So, yeah. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 2002's Test Drive or Test Drive Overdrive in any other countries. Alright, so let me just file say it. I got Test Drive 2002 for literally a dollar and 99 cents. Yeah, this was when I was 10 years old, and I wanted to get a game, but due to the fact, but due to that time, I didn't have cash, so Yeah, I got $1.99, bought the game, and let's just say that it was one of, if not my best purchase I ever gotten out of a racing game. So, was I wondering, okay, what is this game about? Well, you play as Dennis Black, a drag racer that actually that got himself into the street racing by his client known as Clark. And yes, not well, no, not Clark Kent from Superman. You kidding me? No, I'm talking about like the dude name is Clark. He's the whatever he is. He's actually the one that actually gave you contacts and actually have you doing a bunch of races. In fact, he even actually do drag races as well. And yeah, gone to San Francisco. You see, you went to San Francisco. You meet a couple of characters. One of them stood out. One of the most, if not most, characters that actually stood out the most was um, Nels, Lux, um, Kurt, and even shoot, I forgot what his name, but oh, I remember now. It's I think his name is Skeeter. I can't remember, but all I know is that each and every single character has has some sort of inheritage. Like for example, Nels is actually German, so you can actually and not much you can tell he's German due to his accent, which I don't believe normal Germans would talk like that unless unless it's a heavy accent, which I don't believe that makes any sense. Uh, then you move on to Tokyo, I, which I think, completely honest, a lot of cars. I see. At that time, you be getting yourself into a lot more cars than ever. So, for example, the Subaru Dark STI, you getting yourself a Corvette C3, and heck, even a Nissan Skyline, which at the time the car was still being, well, well, here's the thing. Depending on depending on if you got a Motor X R34 or does support G29. You can actually use a wheel in this game. Yes. This is support G29. I'm not using a wheel. I'm using a controller. So, um, yeah. Um, that's the only thing. This game does support wheels. So, uh, not to mention you can actually get a like if you have a handbrake for games like this, then you can actually use it as well. Um, I will check out Gusius because he usually use a wheel as well as a shifter and handbrake as well as slap train. He does the same thing as well, but yeah, I'm using controllers, so that's why I'm not like just like that's the reason why I'm not moving my arms around like it's like a full-on madman. But yeah, nonetheless, this game does support a controller set, not controller, a wheel setup. So uh, yeah, it should work. Like I do believe. I don't know. Um, now what was I saying? Oh yeah. So so yeah, Tokyo, you met with the same thing, except you got different characters such as uh, say, actually, I'm interested for some time. Oh, okay. Now, I just want to hear me talk about a game that's literally like that came out since I was only 3 years old. And you can go right ahead, but yeah. um, yeah. Shoot, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. Um, so yeah, you move to Tokyo, and then you meet a couple of characters, beat with a lot. Yeah, a lot of them, and yeah, you move on to the next one, which is London. And I kid you not, London is by far the hardest, and by hardest I mean the most difficult track to race with. Reason being, well, not only that the traffic is ridiculous, but at the same time, there's a now for those who are wondering, is there one thing I do not like about the game? Well, there is, and that's the way they have the cops. And also wondering, oh, yeah, is it like Need for Speed where, or any other race game that actually gives, like the moment they stop you and you're stuck for a couple of seconds, you actually get busted? No, it's more ridiculous than you think about it. Now, yeah, for those wondering, yeah, let's just say that you get hit by a cop. Yeah, the only way the only way you can actually get busted is get hit by a cop 4 times. 4 times! And no, we're not talking full on hits. Like, even the cop taps you a little bit, it counts. So, yeah, you have to be careful when you're racing. Otherwise it's the end of the race. And trust me, I rage quit when this happened. And my question is like, who the heck implements this sort of cop system? Like that makes no sense. Good thing they actually good thing they actually fixed a lot of the cops years later, but my goodness. Test Drive 2002 was really difficult. And keep in mind, the game was only 8 years old. Yeah, 8 years old. Which, for a game that I paid $1.99 for, was pretty worth it. And for those that was interested in the story of Test Drive, I'm not gonna spoil it because for the most part, all you have to do is just buy the game, and you probably will see why I won't spoil it. Because yeah, it actually makes quite a lot of sense. But and this is worse, except for these portion earlier. Oh, you grew up with the first. Oh, you grew up with the first era of Need for Speed games. I kind of grew up with the second and third era, so yeah. For the most part, Need for Speed Most Wanted is not bad. I can say that for sure. The reason why people didn't like Most Wanted is due to the AI. That's basically it. Like the run event is way too much, and even if you're getting away from the cops would catch up to you like it was nothing. Like let's say that you have a fully upgraded Corvette C6, and you're outrunning them, no problem. But then, literally 5 seconds later, a cop is literally right in the back of you, and you're going 200 and something miles an hour, while the cop is obviously doing 300, because apparently the rubber event is so ridiculous. Um, shit, what was I saying? It was just like the Fast and Furious. I can say that about Payback, because Payback actually makes no sense. He's actually not that bad, story-wise. Story-wise is not that bad. 2015. I don't know about 2015, man. Like no joke. The reason why I came back to the series in 2015 is because of the customization. That's the only thing. That and I can drive the unicorn. That's basically it. And then it's like, oh yeah, there's also free content, so I don't have to pay for anything. It's like, oh yeah, let's see what the update's about. It's like, oh yeah, you got new cars. Like, oh cool. Oh, there's a hot rod in the game. Let's see. Turn to address bill, go 250 miles an hour. What the heck is happening? I was like, okay. How come not all cars go to 250 miles an hour? Oh yeah, simple, because there is no way to do it with a city like this. Not to mention, I'm surprised that city isn't drowned due to the constant rain. Goodness. No one's gonna say? Oh, yeah. Um, but, yeah. Most Wanted 2012, yeah. Just don't play it. This is because, oh my goodness. If you want to know the reason, just watch Blade Angel's, ranking of the modern Need for Speed games. Like, he started from 2010 and then goes to Heat. I don't think he did the third era, which is like from. Wait, no. Actually, I think he did the third and fourth era, but I do believe Undercover was part of the second era, if I remember correctly. No, what was I say? Oh yeah. So I go things with info. No problem. Shoot, I got distracted. Oh yeah. But yeah. Then, well, I gone through it, and then boom, you're right at the final. Um, right in the final. Yeah, the final destination, which is literally Monte Carlo, aka the city that is city that is wedged between Spain and France. Well, it's actually the southern part of the southern part of let's see the southern part of France and the northern side of Spain. So yeah, that's where Monte Carlo came from. Um, so in terms of the car list is pretty diverse. Um, even though it's a test drive game. You're driving stock cars, but the diversity of the car makes up for the difference. Like for example, first cars you get are two cars. One of them is a not Chevrolet. One of them is a Plymouth Hemi-Cuda, and the other one is a Toyota Supra. But before you super fanboys asks, no, it didn't came with 300. It didn't came with a million horsepower. No, it actually was stock. Only came in with 220 horsepower, which, to be completely honest, sounds kind of strange. Because normally when it comes to cars like that, usually make over 276 horsepower, not 320. But in my game, okay. So yeah, for the most part, yeah, throughout the game, unlock some iconic cars. For example, the 1966 Pontiac GTO. You unlock a Chevrolet Camaro Z28. You can even unlock a Chevrolet Chevelle and even Sparky 91. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, you're on keyboard. Well, wait, are you on wheel or are you on keyboard? Cause that's the main question. Uh, shoot, I was gonna say. Oh yeah. But yeah, of all the things that I've PC is going controller. Oh, okay. Um, dang it, I was forgot something. Oh yeah. Um, Jesus. Okay, what's with the? I was like, text with the lag is. Oh wait, never mind. We're good. You back? Okay. Um, so now don't talk about the game though. So there's that. Um, yeah, the game is. So yeah. Test Drive, Test Drive 2002 is one of those games where if you end up playing it as a child, you're basically golden. Like you're good. Um, what else? And not to mention the cars themselves are pretty amazing. And just got this game. God dang. No, I'm not talking about this game. I'm talking about Test Drive 2002, which is a game that I played since I was a kid. That's right. I was a whole child when I played Test Drive 2002. Uh, Now what actually so the game that see this is one of those games where the soundtrack actually caught me off guard. In fact, if you actually watch the original Fast and the Furious, you would know some you would know some soundtracks. Like for example, you got let's see, you got I think wait no I was thinking Superstar was there. There was Click Click Boom by Saliva. Um there's Furious by Ja Rule. Um, and heck, there are some tracks by BT, actually was another which was another artist that actually worked on the game, worked on Test Drive, not only Test Drive 2002, and even Needs to Be Underground. In fact, BT was responsible for Needs to Be Underground's intro song. But before this, it was Woo Woo by Chiggy, I think that's what it's called. I can't remember, but yeah, nonetheless, it was a really cool game. So time for me to rate the game. So, oh, I forgot locations. Change your car in game. No, you have to literally back out and like, if you missed while I driven before, I driven the 370Z beforehand. Then I driven the Subaru. Then I drifted a newer Subaru, and now I'm drifting this. But I had to literally go in and out of the lobby more than 4 times. Um, what was I say? Oh yeah. So yeah, the way that locations, they're really diverse. Only four locations are in the game, which is San Francisco, San Francisco, Tokyo, London, and Monte Carlo. And not to mention, each location has 20 races for each. So overall, you're gaining around, I say, 80 plus the final one, which is literally 20. So that's around 100 races, which I'm not gonna spoil. Uh, so yeah. Uh, in terms of race varieties, there are three races. There is the original circuit. There's sprint. There's another one known as time trial, and I do believe, if I remember correctly, there's one known as there's literally like drag racing, which actually makes more sense than every other drag race, which, well as I know, it's kind of realistic. And by realistic, I'm talking figuratively, and literally two cars lining up, and yeah, two cars lining up, and um, basically going to the straight line. But if you try cars in the line, you'll be disqualified. So that's another thing that I kind of liked. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of realistic. Um, so yeah, time me to rate the, time me to rate, um, time me to rate the game overall. So overall, um, so I'm going by um, price, story, gameplay, locations, car list, and last but certainly not least, the overall score. So the price that I got the game was literally $1.99 when I was 12 years old, but I do believe it costs more now due to the fact that the game is a pretty sought after game. Um, not to mention I played the game since I think I was 6 when I first played Test Drive 2002, and I ended up picking up the game 4 years later. Um, And not to mention, the game literally just cost me $1.99. I still have the case to this day, so there's that. What else? There's also um, crap. What was it again? Oh yeah. Um, so yeah, story. I gotta get that. Gotta get the story a D plus because even though the story's interesting, it's just the story have bad. Even though yeah, characters are well, the characters are cool, but it's sort of kind of racist. Just letting you guys know. Well, it's not racist in terms of like someone calls someone the N word, but no, it's like we're talking like do these people really like they're more like stereotypes if anything. So it's looking for good. I bought a pack called powders for it. To be completely honest, I never used the M4 before. Um, the reason why I bought it is because there's like a lot of bikes for it, so there's that. When I bought it, I just never used it. Well, I used it once. I do believe it's a cool car, but yeah, nonetheless, it's pretty interesting to say the least. Shit, else I was saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, story D minus. Even though not D minus, D plus. Even though the story is interesting, it's just that the characters are so stereotyped. And by stereotypes, I mean we're talking Germans. Talking about a German guy saying nine every every time you have to say no, it's like nine. It's like really, really like. And keep in mind, the game came out in 2002, so there's that. Um, let's see. Um, Carlos wise, oh, that is that is well, it's a B plus. Reason being, even though there's a diverse of cars, there's only I kid you not when I say this, but there's only 28 vehicles in game when the most cars I've seen, the game I've seen with the most cars was Tokyo Stream vs. Zero, which I kid you not have more than 80 cars. Yeah, that's right, 80 cars, and that's literally including the majority of the cars that are in the game. And you can also not buy, they can also unlock by defeating teams. But yeah, nonetheless, that's a B plus. I like the variety, but it's just uh, one one game is better than the others in terms of like the car list. Locations, that's a full-on S plus. That's the reason why it's an S plus is because well, I like the way they have in terms of variety, and even most of the most parts of the races are accurate. But yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath for that game for too long because this is where this is where the gameplay shows. Gameplay, I'm gonna give that a B. Uh, Due to the fact that pretty, the game is pretty average, and not to mention the reason why it's lower than A is because the way they implement the cops. Like four hits and you're busted. That's one thing I just don't get. It's like, wait a minute, 4 hits and you're busted? How the heck does that make any sense? And the worst part is you can't hit them either. That just makes it worse. It's like, wait, so I can't wait. So not only they can hit me, but I can't hit them, and if I keep hitting them, I get busted. That totally makes no sense. Um, so yeah, the overall score. Let's see, D plus, D plus, B, D plus, B minus, S plus, and a B plus. which give it an overall score of an 89.7, which actually means it's a B plus. Now, the reason why it's a B plus, and this is a very good question, really good question, is because it's one of those games where one game does it better than the other. For example, at the time, I don't think a Need for Speed game actually came out in 2000. Wait, no, actually, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 came out in 2002, and it had better cops than, and yeah, it had better cops than Test Drive 2002. The diversity of cars, even though Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero didn't have that much variety, i.e., it literally had a couple of, they had a handful of American cars and a handful of European cars. The Japanese cars are pretty subpar, and not subpar, but it's literally like exploded in terms of the way it actually is. But yeah, that game actually has more cops than not cops, more cars um Test Drive 2002. And um, heck, even though the even though the tracks again S actually has the most tracks in game, but the only reason why it has more tracks than any other game, because the only thing that actually competes against it was the next game for the PS2, or it was on launch for the PS2, which was 2001's um, Gran Turismo 3, which keep in mind had more tracks than Test Drive 2002. Uh, and the gameplay, although realistic drag racing aside, it's not perfect. And yeah, that's basically it for today's in a nutshell with Test Drive 2002 in a nutshell. Um, so yeah, that's basically it. So I'm gonna do 2 more laps of this, and I probably got in the live stream. Um, Holy crap, what's that? Okay. Just find out me and I think that's a Laurel, are chasing the M4. Yeah, chasing the M4 through drifting. That's pretty funny, not gonna lie. Yeah, I still need to work on the E360s. Nice vet though. Anyways. Um, okay, so it's basically 1 more lap of this, and I probably got in the last stream. Now, those that want to know, those that literally just joined in on live stream, I already talked about the 3 things I want to talk about. And one of them also, yeah, the first one was engine swaps. Second one is vehicle history on the Subaru WRX STI, and then finally the in a nutshell was about Test Drive 2002. So yeah, there's that. Um, did someone order a 360? Oh snap! Nope, nope, no, it did not work. It did not work. Oh my goodness, it's so difficult to do a 360 in this car. I can do a 360 in a jet taxi, but jeez, man. Okay. All right. And okay, so it wasn't a 360, more like a 180 and then turn around. Okay, so that was the final lap. Well, let me just do this 360 before I actually leave the lobby. There we go. There we go. All right. No, it didn't. Oh my god. I did one so well. Oh my god. All right. That'll be it for now. Oh, yeah. I made 2 million. God dang. I made 2 million just by doing this. Oh, yeah, yeah. Keep in mind, I was legit broke. This is I was broke in the game. Um. So, anyways, without any further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next. You can find me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun. Oh wait, I forgot. And also, make sure you hit the bell notification to be notified of any new live streams slash new videos. I still need to record the voiceover for today's summit for the crew 2, so there's that. Anyways, you can follow me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun Productions. You can follow me on Twitter at GD247S. You can check out my Discord at God327sun Productions Garage Museum. And last, but certainly not least, you can check out my Twitch at GD247S in case my YouTube doesn't work. Also, which of these segments do you want to actually be made into a video as this entire thing? Do you want vehicle history, racing cliches, or in a nutshell? So one for racing, one for RC, basically racing cliches. Two for VH or vehicle history, or three for um, ITN or basically slash in a nutshell. So any further ado, hope you guys have a dope Monday. This is God just signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.